The Sharkticons, the loyal foot soldiers of the Quintessons, known for their ferocity, loyalty, and sometimes lack of intelligence. Yes, I have Gnaw here. He is a toy from the 1986 movie, but this is the evolution of the Sharkticons. So we're gonna go through them all from 1986 to the very latest releases in Sharkticon technology. Yes. And I'm going to discuss a few things about Sharkticons that I think Hasbro could have done a little bit better. But this is going to be a showcase of all of the Sharkticons that we have come across. And not only will we have official Hasbro and Takara ones, but we'll have some knockoffs and even, at the end, a third-party set that is very cool. If you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, I'm still Captain Kyle. Thanks for coming back. This is awesome. I hope you enjoy this video. I've been wanting to do it for quite some time, so I'm pretty excited. It's like blood in the water. Okay, maybe I'm going a little too far there, but we're gonna go through all these Sharkticons and have some fun along the way. Be right back. So as I mentioned, Gnaw is the first of the Sharkticons that was released. He came out in 1986, and he kind of falls over sometimes. Stay, man, stay. But yes, he was a Transformer on par, size-wise, with the Predacons, one of the bigger Transformers that came out. And he's cool, he's pretty accurate to the movie. If you watch the movie, they pretty much look like Gnaw. Now, I do think that Hasbro made a mistake in releasing a large Transformer to represent the Sharkticons, or at the very least, not also releasing smaller, maybe 3-packs of Sharkticons, because that would have been cool. We would have been able to have an army of Sharkticons, just like in the movie, and later on seen, throughout season 3. So I think that Hasbro missed an opportunity that they could have had, a 3-pack of Sharkticons, and that would have avoided the whole thing where if you wanted to get multiple Sharkticons, 1, they weren't the cheapest Transformers, and 2, you always were in danger of your parents saying, "But don't you have that one?" "Yeah, but I need more." Kind of like Stormtroopers in Star Wars. They should have very early on done like 5-packs of Stormtroopers, in my opinion. So these are the Stormtroopers of the evil Quintesson Empire. Now, it is G1, and technically, actually, this is a G1 counterfeit reissue, but it is identical in every way to the original 1986. And as far as the legs don't move at all, you can move the arms like that. That's pretty much it. And the head does not turn. And he comes with a tail mace or flail and a gun. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be on a chain, which would make it a flail, or if it's just a curved stick, which would make it a very odd mace. And he's got a gun that shoots stuff. Now his name is Gnaw. He's not just a Sharkticon, which they really didn't seem to have names, but I did love what they did in Dreamwave Comics. Like it or hate it, they did have some good stuff when a lone Sharkticon was adopted by Hot Rod and named Gnaw, which I thought was a cool way to bring that name in. But yeah, he's about 6 inches tall, just about. I've reviewed him before, so I'm just gonna go through him quickly. Transforming him is pretty simple. You remove the weapons. You can turn these, I don't know what they are, fist guards up, push in his fists, slide down these arms so that they can become the legs, close his mouth, swing these shoulder things forward, which mine are a little stiff. I have not transformed this guy a lot. You take the feet and point the toes like so, push in, attach the tail, and there's absolutely no place for the gun. I mean, back in those days, they weren't thinking about weapon storage in alternate modes. And there he is, Rarg! A Sharkticon, a very nice looking Sharkticon. You could move his arms, you could move his jaw, just don't give away the face in there. And that's about all the articulation. But he was cool. But again, I think Hasbro missed out on an opportunity to put out 3-packs. They're still missing out on those opportunities. All right, so that was in 1986, but we wouldn't see another Sharkticon until 2004. And then it wasn't exactly a Sharkticon, it was the Energon version of Sharkticon. I don't seem to have a key or a star or something like that, but this was not meant to necessarily be a Sharkticon. His name was Sharkticon, but he was not a minion of the Quintessons. He had his own personality, and his name being Sharkticon, well, that's kind of like naming someone Dinobot or Insecticon. They did that a lot where they just named someone after a subgroup. Did they ever name someone just Predacon? I don't think so, but they named a single character who did not merge into Predaking. So, but yeah, so this guy is kind of neat looking. He's not supposed to be like a Beast Wars shark. And just to touch on the Beast Wars, yeah, there was a bunch of sharks in Beast Wars. None of them were Sharkticons. Cyber Shark, Transmetal 2 Cyber Shark, Hellscream. Later on in Rid, you had Skybite, and there might even be some others that I'm not recalling right offhand, but those were not Sharkticons. All Sharkticons are sharks, but not all sharks are Sharkticons. But this Sharkticon is just, that's his name. But he's kind of a cool figure. I mean, he's got more posability than the original. He can do a split, kind of, and even a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. However, this part in the back is gonna really keep you from putting him crotch down. So he definitely needs chairs on either side. The feet can actually move, so that's kind of neat. And he could kick forward, not super, super high. Kicking back, he had to kind of do it to the side because of this whole big package on his back. He could definitely do a side kick, and really big side kick. Bend at the knee, and he's got this fin here that, wow, that would hurt. And the legs actually swivel all the way around, which is cool. Now, does he twist at the waist? He does, but you kind of got to move the backpack a little bit. He goes all the way around, but the backpack would interfere normally. The arms can pretty much go all the way around. You just need to be aware of the fins on his arms and these little gun things. So you might need to maneuver a little bit around those. And they go off to the side. He bends at the elbow. He's got a nice swivel all the way around. So nice articulation. I mean, this is 2004. This is 20 years of Transformers technology. His head can go all the way around. He's really pretty cool. Now, giving him a spin on the turntable of doom. Want to make sure he's stable. Well, as stable as someone named Sharkticon could be. You can see he's got a Decepticon symbol on his back, which becomes his nose. And he's just a very cool looking bot. Not quite a Sharkticon, but still, he's cool. Now, it has been a while since I've transformed this, so I'm not going to show you how to do it, because I got to figure it out on the fly. So there he is in his shark-ish mode. Again, not exactly even as close as a regular Sharkticon. Well, I mean, most sharks don't have arms or legs, but, you know, no well-placed fins. They're in the back or on the bottom, but it's still a cool looking, almost like a spacecraft or a submarine. And he's got all these guns that can go in different directions. So he's pretty cool. Again, I think he had some kind of, well, star. I don't think, no, these weren't cyber keys. So this is Energon. So he just had a star, I think. I don't know, it's been a while. But there you go. His name is Sharkticon. I'm giving him honorary status in the Sharkticon army because we didn't have one for 18 years. But that's a very cool mold, which they used at Botcon, where they were using recolors. Eventually got some remolding in there and even some Japanese exclusives. But this is obviously a recolor of Sharkticon. And I think this one is Land Shark. They actually had a 3-pack, which was cool. It took a convention to do a 3-pack. There was Land Shark, Air Shark, and Sea Shark. Sea Shark seems, you know, normally to be a normal thing, but these guys were meant to be actual Sharkticons. And again, I'm not going to go through the posability because I just did, but great coloration, great homage to the original, and form the same type of fully armed underwater craft that looks pretty shark-like. The Sharkticons, were they really sharks? I don't think the Quintessons, when they designed them, knew what a shark looked like, so this is actually closer to what a shark looks like, but still not exactly. And again, he has a Decepticon symbol on his nose, as does he. And of course, Gnaw has one as well. Which is interesting, despite the fact that they're Sharkticons, they're actually not affiliated with the Decepticons. So wearing that symbol, it was just Hasbro trying to categorize it for us. It would have been nice if at Botcon they had just eliminated it. That would have been nice, but they didn't. Now the next toy I'm gonna show you is not technically a Sharkticon either. It's actually Megatron from the Beast Hunters Prime. They basically call him Sharkticon Megatron. Now if you watch the show, which I just rewatched recently, and it is good, even with humans in it. You know that Megatron never took on this form. Now he did replace his arm for a while with that of a Prime, so he could do stuff and things. And I've probably given too many spoilers for those who haven't seen it, but he never actually took this form. But it is kind of neat. He comes with this weapon here that is known, I got it secondhand, so maybe a little loose, as the Shark Tooth Spear, because it also becomes kind of like a sword, the Tartarex Warp Sword. And here is Sky. She likes fish. I'm sorry, these Sharkticons are not edible. But if you're familiar with Prime, this is a remold of Prime from Megatron. So he's got all the same posability, just a lot of added on features. He does a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Doesn't have ankle swivels, but he kicks forward, kicks back, kicks to the side. Knees with some blades and sharp objects on there that can cause some intense pain. Right, Sky? It swivels all the way around. He twists, not at the waist. I don't think any of the Megatron from Prime twists at the waist. Now the arms, he's got these shoulder pads, so it kind of interferes with the arms moving, but he does bend at the elbow. He has a swivel on his forearm, and the hands can turn in. They are open hands, but they don't actually have any movement. But you can turn them a little bit inward. So he's like, me? Me be evil? I have never heard of such a thing. Starscream! His head can kind of go side to side, turns a little bit. But yeah, he's a cool figure and kind of an homage to the Sharkticons, but don't worry, lots more actual Sharkticons are coming. So there he is in actual jet mode-ish. Definitely looks more creature-like. Could possibly go underwater, but an interesting coloration, an interesting homage to the original Sharkticons. And you could put his gun onto his back, could move Sting things around, make it more of a deadly weapon. I think it's kind of big and, you know, right, Sky? It's kind of big, right? But good for scratching one's face, but still overall a cool version of Megatron as a Sharkticon, which is kind of weird. Now, there were cre-os in 2013, 2015, 2017. But as I've said in other Evolution videos, we don't talk about cre-o. Yeah, this is the musical portion, and it's over. You're welcome. However, in 2016, in the midst of all these cre-os, there was a Legends class Sharkticon, who is actually called Gnaw. Comes with a very nice flail mace, something like that. A bit smaller. Legends class, so he's only a little over 3¼ inches tall, so almost 3½, but not quite. And when you put him next to like Sharkticon, even in his Sharkticon mode, the 86 one, you can see he's very small. But this allowed you the opportunity to get more, because he was less expensive, well, probably about the same price as the original, but still a cool little Sharkticon, more posable than the original. Not tons more posable, but his legs could actually move. Couldn't twist at the waist, no ankle rockers, but arms could go all the way around. He had elbow-ish joints. Couldn't do anything with the fists, but he had a tail. Head could turn all the way around, so a lot more posability. One thing he was missing that the original had was the gun. Now the transformation was not super complicated, and it still isn't, but you had a decent little Sharkticon at the end of it. Now the tail would go into the back as you would expect, the tail mace, and he had some posability in shark mode. The arms and top of the mouth would move back and forth, kind of move the bottom of the mouth. The legs, you could adjust them if you wanted to. Got this little movable fin. But overall, something like this could have been released in 86, though probably wouldn't have been as posable. But having an army of these to face off against, you know, Hot Rod and Cup, that would have been good. Yeah. Now these were sold individually. There was no 3-packs, but I'm gonna dive into the world of knockoffs for a moment. Because Fan Toys came to the rescue with a 3-pack of knockoffs. I screwed up the transformation on this guy, it's been a while. I just want to show you turn around the fists, and his legs are actually a bit better than I showed previously. But yeah, a 3-pack of these, and they did include a gun along with the tail mace. Bulbous yellow eyes, a little bit differently colored, a little bit darker, more purple in there, but still a 3-pack. So you didn't have to buy extras like I did. But wait, there's more, because I also put out a specially colored 3-pack. So this is very similar, only he's got red eyes and a red weapon. This one is like a Force Ghost, and this one is totally gray. This is a second 3-pack, but it's in special colors. I'll put links to both of these sets in the description, along with links to finding, the original. But it's very cool that they, ripped off this mold. I guess that's not cool, but it's cool that we got a bunch of Sharkticons that could attack and came with weapons. And I just do weapon storage for the gun by putting it into his hand facing backwards on either leg. It's not symmetrical, which I actually prefer, but still nice extra Sharkticons. So as you see, I can really fuck up Hot Rod and Cup. It rhymed and was slightly profane. Now in 2017, in Japan, they released a Sharkticon in a box, and it came with a Titan Master. So this is the LG44, and it's a bit redecoed. I got this at a con, but I will put links. It comes with a Titan Master, who actually is a sweep head. That didn't sound right. That sounds like a sweep head! Such a sweep head! But it comes with that, and a recolored version of the Legends class Sharkticon. And he looks pretty cool. Actually, in some ways, a little closer to the knockoff ones in coloration, but same simple transformation, same lack of gun, and a cool instruction sheet with some full color pictures and a comic book that I can't read. But, black and white instructions and, full color stuff. Very cool. Put the sweep head away. So very neat. A nice color variant. In the spin on the turntable of doom. I like him. Got a whole army building up over here. In 2019, Hasbro actually took a page from the book of many of the knockoff companies and came out with an oversized version. So this is the Cyberverse Gnaw. Now, the tail weapon is a little bit different because they made him bigger so they could do that. But he's basically pretty accurate in colors to the original, and he's about 4¼ inches tall. Though I say he's very similar in transformation. There are some differences, because in the original you actually pulled these out. Here you actually just turn these down. So they simplified it, but at the same time made it bigger. Minor changes. And of course his head turns around, all the same posability. Yeah, I didn't even try to get him into a Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's not gonna happen with these guys. Though you can spin him around too, which is interesting. But I think that's more for the shark mode, because you can't really do it when his chest is down like that. You can kind of, still easier to move it up a little bit. But anyways, let's get him into his shark mode. Sharkticon mode, shark monster mode. He's a monster, a monster. So I said transformation very similar. It's kind of an upscaled version, and his tail kind of sticks up a little bit. But there you go. A little bit bigger of a Gnaw of a Sharkticon. He's evolving! So you think there's no place to go but up and bigger. You're wrong. Enter the Target exclusive Sharkticons attacks. Basically, these are bot shots that are very small Sharkticons, buddy, that came in a 3-pack with a black version of Hot Rod. Stealth Force. Again, you're getting a bunch of cats, so. Now, I thought they all came in different colors. These are the ones that came in the package that I got. So we got 2 greenies and a yellow. So it could have been a packaging error. But the reason they have colors is because they're in gangs. So there was a whole thing where they went flying back to Cybertron. They ran into some adventures along the way and ran into a bunch of Sharkticons living on asteroids, and it was a whole thing. But they were various factions, they were gangs and all that stuff. So kids, stay in school. So these little guys, kind of like baby Sharkticons, were basically the bot shot Gnaw before there was a bot shot Gnaw. They don't have any weapons, they transform very simply, and would you believe it, even they have itty bitty Decepticon symbols on them. Misrepresentation, I would go to the head of the Decepticon Union and complain that we have non-paying members. Okay, I'll chill. But these were the next Sharkticons that we had. That was at the same time as the upscaled version, but itty bitty, kind of cool. Now there was Tiny Turbo Changer Gnaw, who I believe was a bot shot. In 2020, I looked for one, I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere, wasn't on eBay, wasn't at TFCon, wasn't at any con I've gone to. Here's a picture, but he looks like these. Just plain. like an M&M. Now, I know you're looking forward to the Studio Series, as am I, but there's still one more that I need to show you. Who is this one? We're back to the Titans Returns mold. But this one came in the Pit of Judgment, and they recolored him, which was nice of them, so he didn't look exactly like every other Sharkticon, though that is generally their thing. But there he is, another pint-sized wonder. He was a Sharkticon. They didn't name him Gnaw, I don't believe they gave him a name at all. He's just a Sharkticon. He's so blue. Again, I promised the musical portion was over. I lied. So he is a pretty cool version. Of course, you have to open up your Pit of Judgment set, which was painful because the Pit of Judgment set is kind of a nice set. So I have two. One I opened and one that remains in box for display purposes. So I've got another one of this color that I could put out, but I didn't. But that brings us to the first one to not have a Decepticon symbol. The Studio Series 86 Sharkticon Gnaw. And he looks awesome. I would say transformation-wise and posability-wise, he is probably the best out of all of them. And can very easily do a Jean-Claude Van Damme. In fact, his knees go backwards, so he could be really weird. Now he can kick forward, he can kick back. Now going to the side, here's the thing. Can't go straight out to the side. You have to kind of do a outward crescent kick to put it out to the side. So he can do a Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he can't do a split. C'est la vie. Bends at the knee. He does have ankle swivels, so you can, they're quite apparent. So if you have him really, he can't spread his legs that far, but when you put out the swivels, there's definitely a gap. But he doesn't even really need the ankle swivels, honestly. Sorry, dude. You're getting all this pushing and posing is getting you out of sorts. I'm sorry. As you notice, he does come with a gun, which is awesome, as well as a very long mace/flail. The arms can go all the way around. Rubs against his creature arms, but they go all the way around, and I keep flipping that up, sorry. Elbows, very good elbows, almost hyperextend. Swivel. Now, unfortunately, the way he's constructed, there is no twisting at the waist, but the head can go all the way around. And he is a very cool version, and he stands about 5 inches tall, so a little shorter than the original, but he's still very cool. Now, transforming him, it's a very clever transformation. Not too difficult, but definitely clever. Now, despite having a gun, he actually does have weapon storage. You can stick the gun on the side like so, and he's a very cool looking Sharkticon. Now, again, it would have been nice to get these in a multi-pack, but the posability is great because the hands move a lot more like the ones in the show and in the movie. You can open up the mouth. I suggest you turn the head around. I don't recall if that was part of the instructions, but that'll kind of keep a face from just being out there. And of course you can move the back legs. So probably the best one to date. But you don't think that any, I don't know, knockoff companies would be inspired by this mold? Oh yes, there were. Check out these guys. These guys only stand about 3 1/4 inches tall, but they are basically undersized versions of the Studio Series. And what's interesting is there's a little thing, I don't think that it is the same in the Studio Series. Oh, I'm sorry. With the Studio Series, you can push the head forward, so you don't want to turn it around, and that way you don't really see much of the head when he's trying to bite you. So they duplicated that very much so with these guys, so it's amazing on a small scale what they did. It's exactly the same transformation, only smaller. And I will put these guys, as they suffer the effects of centrifugal force, but I'll put a link to these guys. Very cool set. This was put out by Zymo, it's called a Zymo, I think, Zymo Sharkticon Shark Squad. A little redundant, but wait, there's more. Because more recently, I ordered what I thought was a single Sharkticon as a knockoff. And I just want to show a little scaling here with him by his undersized knockoff. But I thought I was getting one Sharkticon. I actually got 3, and it happened to be an oversized knockoff. So for like 40 bucks, I got not 1, not 2, but 3 of these. I don't think you can get one of these for 40 bucks anymore. So again, exactly the same transformation. No Decepticon symbol, but then again, neither does the Hasbro. Transforms the exact same way. And at 3 for 40 bucks, I'm like, wow, that is army building. And they're bigger. I mean, these guys are like 6.5 inches compared to 5. So you can choose your size of Sharkticon with this mold. I think that's pretty amazing. So those cover all the official releases and the knockoffs. But what about third party? Are there any third party? Yes, there are. At one of my local toy stores, I got the IGTF005 Shark Attack Squad. And I'm like, all right, more Sharkticons. Now I did open them up and check them out because I was like, are these the same? Are these just oversized knockoffs? And they come with very wrinkled instructions, but no, they are not the same. So these guys come with very rubbery tail weapons and 2 guns. Now apparently this is a secondhand set. I will see if I can locate it online for you guys to get brand new. And for whatever reason, this guy has a shoulder pad that doesn't like to stay on. But they are definitely different in appearance and design and transformation than the Studio Series. And they're about 5 inches tall. Now I do have sets of a tail weapon for him, and there's actually 3 in here, which I have already put into Shark mode. Sharkticon mode, Beast mode. They got these little antennas, which is kind of cool, which is something that's missing from a lot of the various Sharkticons. Now, the 2 weapons, they do have side posts, so I'm wondering, you might be able to use some weapon storage, at least for one weapon on the back. This one does not seem to have a side post, so you may have to do a G1 thing and just put it aside. But he can really only hold 2 weapons anyway, so if you're gonna put something in a case or something, put it away, that might be the one. But he's a very cool version of a Sharkticon. Again, a little bit of a different transformation, a little bit of a different style, a little more in scale with, say, the Studio Series instead of the oversized knockoffs. And look, they can hold hands. That is the iGear Toys version, and it's a very cool third party. They didn't just, you know, upscale or downscale a current Hasbro or Takara mold. I kind of got it. Okay, never mind. I thought I got it back on. I was wrong there. Anyways, I'm not too worried about the one shoulder pad. People get damaged all the time, right? Well, bots. There you have it. My huge assortment of Sharkticons. Evolution from 1986 to the latest Studio Series. And even some that just pay homage. And speaking of homages, this one doesn't transform. But this is one of the blocky Sharkticon containers. You can put your weed in there. Or anything else, accessories. I actually have 2 of these. I have one that's a little bit bigger. You have to actually assemble it. So Blockies is sticking with their name, but I don't see them available on their website, so you might have to write to them, or they might include it if you get a certain amount of toys. These are kind of cool. Containers for your stuff, legal or otherwise. It's on you. So that is the evolution of the Sharkticons. So many Sharkticons, so little time. And if you're gonna, you know, sentence Autobots to death, you need to have a good amount of Sharkticons on hand to do the execution, and hope you don't get one massive repair bill. So yes, as I said, I've been waiting to do this for a while. Every time I thought I was ready, I'm like, wait, there's another Sharkticon I gotta get? Finally, I got them all except that itty bitty bot shot tiny turbo charging piece of shit. It looks like this. But yeah, I am very happy that I finally got to share these all with you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're enjoying this content, by all means, feel free to subscribe. That would be awesome. I'm gonna put links to all this stuff in the description, so you can get it. Again, this one is a reissue, counterfeit, and I'll put a link to that. You can, of course, find an original. Maybe it's complete, maybe it's in good shape. You know, these usually are in really nice shape and shiny. But while you are mulling over getting your own execution squad with a whole bunch of Sharkticons, you might want to check out this video over here, which is actually the evolution of Cosmos, who, you know, flies around a bit. And there's a new one coming out, which is actually, you know, just a reissue of the one that we couldn't find for Velocitron. But cool video to check out, and we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.